and you've got Chris Bowen today on another front. We bring our focus back to the press club, and he says he's adamant they're going to be legislating the climate targets as soon as possible when Parliament returns next month.
Well, Boris Johnson's big on climate, of course, and he's had some issues with an energy crisis in Britain as a result, but he's, for a Conservative, he's massive on the climate issue, and British and Australian officials have told me that a lot of that's the influence of his wife. But Chris Bowen, so he'll be happy to see Anthony Albanese's target. Chris Bowen, he said we just won a climate election. That might be news to some. He addressed the National Press Club today. I don't think we heard that much about climate during the election, to be honest. It was more about wages and other issues. Still, he said we won the climate election.
After years of climate change policy being weaponised by Conservatives, after years of baseless fear campaigns about the cost of climate action, there was a climate election. And that election resulted in a Labor victory with an ambitious climate agenda.
So he spelled out here two pieces of legislation he says that they're taking in the very first weeks of Parliament, which starts July 26, and that is to do with electric car tax. Wants to take some of those off, make it more accessible in terms of price electric cars, but also that climate change target legislation. The Coalition have said they're going to oppose it. This 43% less than 2005 carbon dioxide emissions by 2030, up from the 26% target of Scott Morrison. The Greens in two minds whether to support it or not. Here's Chris Bowen.
The Treasurer and I will take through legislation which implements our electric vehicle tax cut. We promise to cut the tariffs and abolish the fringe benefits tax on affordable EVs from 1 July, and that's exactly what we'll do. And of course, the EV tax cut is just one part of our electric vehicle policy. We also promise driving the nation to deliver a fast charger once every 150 kilometres on our nation's highways, to convert the Commonwealth fleet to 75% no-emissions vehicles, to create a national hydrogen highway refuelling network to deliver stations on Australia's busiest freight routes, and the development of Australia's first national electric vehicle strategy.
And there's this exchange with Greg Brown from The Australian as well, where Bowen seems to indicate they might be moving on fuel emission standards in cars to help with their greenhouse gases target as well.
We have an electric vehicle strategy which we will now develop in office, as we said we would from opposition, and we'll consider further policy options to add to and build on what we've already committed to.
So vehicle emission standards, are they on the table as we move forward?
We will consider all viable options to build on the policy announcements we've already made and are implementing.